News out of Arizona now is that DeAndre Hopkins is getting a second opinion on a knee injury from the loss to the Rams, and James Conner is now day-to-day with a knee injury, potentially even worse than that. It seems like Arizona had a more than just a loss on Monday night, or it's just a week in the NFL. Well, how do you suss out the NFC right now through 14 weeks, Chris Long?
I mean, I think the Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFC, and the Bucs are right there. I think those two teams are the class of the NFC. I think that's becoming more apparent. Even with Kyler and Arizona playing their best, I just, like the variability in how healthy he might be. Now, I think Cliff and those guys did a good job of resting him this time around. Last year, he had that shoulder injury that lingered for a while. And so it changed the style of football they played. It was obvious to me when he came back against Chicago that they were willing to allow him to make plays with his legs. So I think he's healthy. I think that's a positive. They handled that well. But, when it comes to that division and the Rams have had a little time to figure out the Robert Woods loss. McVay's been kind of under the hot lamp a little bit, and that's uncharacteristic. I think they're figuring some things out. And I do think when everybody scoffed at, like, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman that they're caping for Matt Stafford talking about how hurt he is, I really do think he was hurt. And I do think he might still be hurt and getting healthy. I mean, and he looked good the other night. So it's a good sign for the Rams. But I don't take too much from that game. They created turnovers. They created a turnover in the red area. You had a 4th and 2 drop by D-Hop, which is last time that happened in 2019 in the red area. They had another a pick. So, that ball he was trying to float to Ertz, and Floyd made a great play. They left a lot of points on the field. So these teams are going to see each other again. I think sometimes in the NFL and with the media, we overreact to every game so much. They played 2 games. They went totally differently. These games are played in a vacuum a lot of times. Little things can happen early in the ball game, like not getting points in the red zone or throwing that pick early, that changed the entire game. So they'll see each other again. I think as you look at that playoff picture, it's tracking that way.
And I want to ask you about the Cowboys. In my opinion, sitting here, I don't say these words lightly. Dak is definitely in a slump, as Jerry Jones essentially said on his radio show this week. And the offense and how healthy they are, and it does concern me, but it can be more than made up for because of number 11, who I think may be the most special rookie at the position since Lawrence Taylor. I wonder what you think of when you see Micah Parsons.
Well, I never sat there in real time and watched Lawrence Taylor. So, I'm always careful because, there's one comparison. You're we don't compare people to LT, and I'm not saying you. I'm afraid to do it. But, you saw LT play, and if you're saying that, you saw it happen in real time, Micah Parsons is incredible. I mean, he's an absolute alien, man. To be able to do what he does, I've never seen a player that's a natural – here's the deal, natural pass rusher, not just a guy who ad rushes well that you can move around, that's going to be quick and athletic and hit the B gap on a pressure that you've schemed up for him, and he's a great finisher. He's all those things, and he has pass rush ability. So, this guy is a total X factor. I had Aaron Donald on my pod this morning, plugging the Green Light pod, and he called him a cheat code, and that's exactly what he is to me. When you can move a guy around who's that dominant, who on Thursday night playing the Saints can run with a slot receiver down the left sideline and break a ball up that's, he's 6 yards out of phase. It's ridiculous. And he, I was skeptical about the DPOY thing, but he's definitely in the running.
I agree. Yeah, I don't recall seeing LT in coverage like what Parsons is doing, and LT was a natural pass rusher. You could tell that, right from the beginning. This guy was put on the planet to wreak havoc and make people frightened pre-snap.
Totally.
And that's what I'm seeing from Parsons, is what I'm seeing right now.
Yep,
from
absolutely.
Him. A cheat code. And Aaron Donald calls him a cheat code. That's saying quite a bit. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.